Hey, what's going on, guys? It is the Arizona Sports Fan, and we are back with yet another mock draft. Now, this is going to be mock draft 2.0, and I'm going to go ahead and do 1 through 15 of this year's draft class. So, without further ado, I have the Cincinnati Bengals picking with the first overall pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, Joe Burrow, quarterback from LSU. Now this right here is a no-brainer to me. This is most likely 98% of all mock drafts that are out there have Joe Burrow going to the Cincinnati Bengals. The Red Rocket, Andy Dalton's time is done within the organization, and Joe Burrow is going to give them the spark that they need to go ahead and build around him and the new regime that they brought in with that coach Taylor. Now, for the second overall pick in the NFL draft, is not going to be anything different than it was on my first mock draft. It's an obvious choice. It's the best player in the 2020 NFL draft. So, without further ado, the Redskins, with the second overall pick in the NFL draft, are picking Chase Young from Ohio State. Now, I said it once and I'll say it again. He is the best prospect of the NFL. The 2020 NFL draft. He has a way to get to the quarterback. He is a beast. He just an overall great NFL prospect, and it would be crazy for the Redskins to pass up on a talent like Chase Young. So it's a no-brainer. He is going to go second overall. So this is where the good stuff comes in. This is where the actual mock draft starts because those two choices in the front are going to be obvious. So for the third overall pick in the NFL draft, I have the Detroit Lions picking Jeff Okudah, DB from Ohio State. Now, Jeff Okudah is known as a lockdown, shutdown corner from Ohio State. He is great with the ball. He has great cover skills, and he is just NFL ready. He's one of those players where you can plug and play already, and I do feel like adding Jeff Okudah to the secondary of the Detroit Lions will be very beneficial, especially with Darius Slay on the opposite side of Jeff Okudah. Now we have the New York Giants on the clock. Now, for the fourth pick in the NFL draft, I have the New York Giants selecting Jerry Jeudy, wide receiver from Alabama. Now, for this pick, I do feel like it's very important for the New York Giants to pick up a playmaking wide receiver, and with Jerry Jeudy, they can definitely fill that need. Currently, they do have Darius Slayton, I believe his name is, which was a rookie last year and had a very, very good season. And then opposite him, they have Sterling Shepard. But with Jerry Jeudy here, they're going to go ahead and add a dynamic to their offense like no other. Now, with the fifth overall pick, I have the Miami Dolphins. I'm going to go ahead and stick with my original pick here that I had before. I feel like it's going to be right. There's many slogans going on, tank for Tua, and that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to have the Miami Dolphins with the fifth overall pick taking Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback from Alabama. Now, this one to me is a no-brainer. Last time I had a lot of Dolphins fans come to the comments and saying that I was crazy and that this is not going to happen. They wouldn't use their first pick on a quarterback. Somebody said that they still have, Ryan Fitzmagic. I don't really know where they were going with that comment, but to me, this is a no-brainer. I do have them taking this quarterback here. He's a mobile quarterback. He's definitely can run the ball. He can also pass the ball as well. So that's what I'm going to go with. Now, for this pick for the Los Angeles Chargers, in my first mock draft, I had them taking Justin Herbert, quarterback out of Oregon. But I'm going to go ahead and live in a world where the Los Angeles Chargers goes ahead and picks up Tom Brady from the free agents. And I know that sounds weird, but that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. So I'm going to go ahead and mix it up and say that with the sixth pick in the NFL draft, I have the Los Angeles Chargers taking Isaiah Simmons, inside linebacker slash safety from Clemson. Now, this is a great pickup for the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, I do feel like this is a very good prospect here in Isaiah Simmons. He can shoot the hole. He's just a really good field general. I really do like him as a prospect. I do feel like this is where he would land here. He was originally a safety, and they moved him to inside linebacker, almost kind of similar to Dayon Buchanan from the Arizona Cardinals. I feel like they're using him kind of the same way. But yep, I have him going to the Los Angeles Chargers. And now we have the Carolina Panthers on the clock. They are picking 7th overall. Now, for them, it was kind of a head scratcher for me to honestly think about. I read some stats that they were probably one of the worst and run defense, so I feel like they could really benefit from picking up Derek Brown, defensive tackle from Auburn. Now, I'm going to be completely honest here. I'm a little uneducated here with the Carolina Panthers and their roster. So somewhere I read that they really struggled in run defense. So I feel like they could really benefit from picking up Derek Brown, the defensive lineman from Auburn. Now, he is the best defensive lineman in the 2020 NFL draft. So I feel like it just kind of makes sense to put him in there to kind of stuff the runs and basically, shut down any run that's actually occurring. And now we have the 8th overall pick, and this is going to be the Arizona Cardinals. Now, this one right here was kind of a hard pick for me to go ahead and pick for my team, because I do know that we have a lot of blaring holes and a lot of different holes that I want to fill up with. But it's really hard, but what I'm going to have to go with this one here, just for the sake of my 2.0 mock draft, I have the Arizona Cardinals picking 8th overall in the 2020 NFL Draft. Andrew Thomas, offensive tackle from Georgia. Now, Andrew Thomas is not a big splash play. I do realize that, but at the end of the day, we do got to go ahead and make sure that we build a solid offensive line for our young quarterback in Kyler Murray. And being that they're both young, they can grow with each other, and why not get a stud player like Andrew Thomas? I do feel like he is a NFL-ready prospect as well, somebody that we can just plug and play. This is definitely something, a route that we can definitely take in the NFL draft, picking up Andrew Thomas from Georgia. And now we have the Jacksonville Jaguars on the clock. They are picking 9th overall. Now, for them, they were kind of a team that I was really scratching my head to kind of see who would fit within this team. And of course, the moment I saw the next best edge rusher in the NFL draft here, I felt like it was a no-brainer. I have the Jacksonville Jaguars with the 9th overall pick in the NFL draft, taking A.J. Epinesa, edge rusher from Iowa. Now, currently, right now, the reason why I chose A.J. Epinesa going to the Jacksonville Jaguars, I do feel like currently right now they have a really, really beastly defensive line with Calais Campbell, and they are known as Saxonville, so why not put the second best edge rusher on that D-line and, create pressure on the opposite side of the other team's quarterback. I feel like it would be a great fit. He can definitely learn a lot from Calais Campbell. And now with the 10th pick in the NFL draft, I still believe that this is a great choice for the Cleveland Browns. Bottom line, whenever I did see a Cleveland Browns game, I said to myself, they cannot protect Baker Mayfield, and that is a formula for disaster. So I have, with the 10th overall pick, the Cleveland Browns selecting Tristan Wirfs, offensive tackle from Iowa. Now, this pick is a no-brainer to me. Like I mentioned before, a lot of Cleveland Brown games that I've seen, Baker Mayfield was always consistently being sacked, being harassed, just never had enough time in the pocket. So a great player such as Tristan Wirfs will just be a great asset to be put in that offensive line to protect Baker Mayfield. And now moving to the 11th overall pick, picking is going to be the New York Jets. Now, for them, this one kind of hurts for me to say, I'm going to be completely honest. But I feel like if the Arizona Cardinals do take the O-line that is, best available, then I feel like the New York Jets will have to do right by their quarterback and getting them a weapon and a wide receiver that's out there that they should definitely take a look into is going to be wide receiver CeeDee Lamb from Oklahoma. Now, this would be a fantastic pickup and a fantastic weapon for Sam Darnold, the young quarterback from the New York Jets. Getting him a weapon, an explosive weapon like CeeDee Lamb is definitely a gift wrap and bowed, and he is going to be a fantastic wide receiver in the NFL. Like I said before, it really pains me to say this because I do want him for the Arizona Cardinals, but nonetheless, for the sake of this mock draft, we have him going to the New York Jets. And now moving on to the 12th overall pick, going to be chosen by the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, this one for me here, I do feel like they have to go ahead and go best player available. And to me here, I think it's a no-brainer. They're going to have to go with Grant Delpit, safety out of LSU. Now, to me here, I do feel like Grant Delpit is going to be the best player available at this point, and because the Las Vegas Raiders, so hard for me to say that, but because they are, still rebuilding, they need to go ahead and pick up some key pieces and just pick up the best players available. And for me right now, it is going to be Grant Delpit, guys. And now we have the 13th overall pick, and that is going to be chosen by the Indianapolis Colts. Now, for them, I do feel like I've been hearing up and down that this is a stacked wide receiver group. Now, they're going to have number one wide receivers even chosen in the third round. We hear that a lot by all these analyses, but at this point right now, I feel like the next best wide receiver is going to have to be chosen by the Indianapolis Colts because T.Y. Hilton is getting older. So without further ado, with the 13th overall pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, I have the Indianapolis Colts selecting T. Higgins, wide receiver from Clemson. Now, this pick here was completely inspired because T.Y. Hilton is getting older. Now, I do know that they have some other wide receivers within their core, but, a player like T. Higgins can definitely change their offense for the best. He's got great hands and is sought out to be probably one of, a number one wide receiver. So why not give that weapon to Jacoby Brissett or whatever new quarterback they decide to bring in for this 2020 NFL season? All right, guys, so now we are coming to the 14th pick, being chosen by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, this one right here is kind of an intriguing one for me, to be honest with you, because we have Bruce Arians, the brash, the bold quarterback there. He said multiple different things out there indicating that, maybe Jameis Winston is not the man that he wants to continue with, for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So that kind of inspired me to kind of think here. So I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with the 14th overall pick in the NFL Draft, taking Justin Herbert from Oregon. Now, there is a lot of reasons why I'm going with Justin Herbert here from Oregon, being drafted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think bottom line, Jameis Winston's time might be done in the NFL. If not in the NFL, then most likely in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And now with the 15th overall pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, I have the Denver Broncos selecting Christian Fulton, DB from LSU. Now, the main reason why I chose this is because they're going to be losing their veteran DB in Chris Harris Jr., so I feel like this would be a great asset for them to add, and he's from LSU, which breeds really, really good DBs in the NFL. All right, guys, so that's going to go ahead and do it for me today. That is my mock draft 2.0. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, guys, but that's all I got for this episode, guys. Thank you so much. I'm out.